Okay, so next we've got second level test 2. We've got Donna Richardson. She's a USEF S senior judge. She trains right across the way here in San Marcos at Fox Run Farm. This is her own Veloz, 17-year-old Lusitano stallion trained to Grand Prix.
I've had the honor of judging this gentleman a few times. Okay. So, second level test 2. We also have some pretty significant changes in this test. The trot work. We really blew it the last round. I'll just lay it on the line and tell you we blew it. We had you do half the trot work and then, why don't you take a walk break? And then you had to do all of the second half of the trot work and all the canter work. We did, that was, first time I judged it, I was like, oopsie, 4 more years, okay? So, we all recognized that immediately, but there was nothing we can do about it for 4 years, unfortunately. So we've changed that. All the trot work is together now at the beginning, okay? And then the walk is in its kind of normal place in between the trot and the canter. The serpentine with the simple changes that was in second level test 1 has now moved to second level test 2 because it's harder, okay? At the end of the test, you walk, you're cantering, and at F you walk, and A you canter again. Is that a simple change? No, correct, because it's too much walk for a simple change. Okay? So it's not really called a simple change. Okay? And then the other thing that is kind of new is you all need to learn to be able to do a medium trot on the center line, which is harder. Got to be straight. Okay? All right? So, those are the major changes for second 2, and now I'll walk over and Donna can show us all what it looks like. Sure. Are we on time? Oh, yeah, we're good. Slow to establish immobility, 6. Needs more angle with shoulders, 6.5. Could be a little bit steadier in the bridle, 7. Good angle and activity, 7. Tilting head. A little too much angle, 7. Needs more elasticity, 7. Needs more angle, 6.5. Needs more air time, 6.5. 7 for the transitions. Halt could be more balanced. and could be more on the bit in RB. 6. This horse, I love the way this horse stretched when she came around the corner. He went, oh, yeah, I'll reach to the bit. It was really well done. Good stretch, could cover more ground. The breeze is picking up. $7.5. A little hesitation in the middle, 6.5. Better, 8. Needs bigger strides, a little bit of tension, 5.5. Not quite direct, to 6. Could have more power, 7. So on the serpentine, we judge the first simple change, then the second simple change, and then the overall serpentine. Some tension, walk not clear, 5. Walk tense, 6. Seven for the serpentine. Comes off aids. $5.5. Walk slightly tense. 6. Slight bobbing of head, 7. Assuming he doesn't do anything in front of me because I gave that score too early. Which he did. Thanks, Donna. So that was a mistake on my part to give the score, so then I have to tell my judge to change it. Change it to a 4. Getting a bit too playful. Swapping leads, 4. Still struggling, 4. He has an opinion, if you can't tell. That's quite straight. 7, needs more power. Good transition, 8. Haunches left, 6. That was funny. That was good. I'll show that judge. Okay, so I think we see a little bit of progression between the two tests. Be careful if you're one of the judges that the issues she had in the simple changes, that you don't double dip and hit her in the serpentine also. Okay, because they did the issues of the tension and the walk, and the first one where the horse kind of sort of didn't really show a clear walk, don't put that in the serpentine score also. Now if she picks up the wrong lead and then does half of the second loop in the wrong lead, then it goes into the serpentine also. But when it's confined to the simple change And the serpentine itself was actually pretty good. Be careful that you don't double dip. Okay? Any questions on that ride? My guess is from the side there might have been some lower numbers than mine because of the tension. It shows more from the side. Okay. There were times when the two judges' scores should be significantly different. There are times when it should be different. Question?
General question on the 15 tests, in general on the advocates for transitions, you use the word calm, which has been changed to clear in 19 tests.
Yeah. That conversation was an interesting one. Unfortunately, it's confidential, so I can't tell you the details. But his question was, in the past, we have had in the transitions calm, and now we've changed it to clear, and the word calm is no longer there because we don't want to promote there's a lot of misconception of what collection is. A lot of people think that it's supposed to slow the horse down and make the strides. Do you have a whip, Donna? Make the strides kind of like this. It's balancing the horse like this, and the feet come higher off the ground like this, okay? And we're trying to get away from people thinking that way. And the topic came up on the word calm, that we don't want to give somebody a 10 because the horse is sleepy and is calm, but he's not really honestly, for instance, in collected trot. Does that make sense? The horse needs to be submissive and on the rider's aids, confident, attentive. Those are better words to think of than calm. Calm was a little too, went a little too far on that one. No, I use a whip to show my concept of, she has a whip. I'll use the next horse's whip. So we decided that word kind of could give the wrong impression. We really do try to think through what we're saying and how it could be interpreted. And sometimes after we sit and look at it for 4 years, we don't like it anymore. Happens. So, the words, we don't really like the word submission at all. Because a lot of people, they take that to mean that they can make their horse subservient, and it's not the goal. And so we considered changing it from submission to willing cooperation. And because of the FEI, we kind of decided we couldn't do that. Now they don't have collectives, so perhaps we should do it now. That might come up for discussion, because none of us like the word submission. Can I borrow your whip? Thank you. None of us like the word submission because it gets misinterpreted. Thank you very much. It's willing participation. It's not subservience. Okay? You want harmony, teamwork. Okay, so this is my horse. He's really handsome, isn't he? Okay, and this is the horse's tail where my hand is. This is the horse's head. Let's see if I can do this and hold the mic at the same time. So at training level, my horse might look like this, or maybe even a little bit like this, and that's totally acceptable, okay? When I go to do collection in second level, it is not bringing their head up like this and making it go, okay? It's what we see a lot, okay? This is called absolute elevation. This is where the horse looks for the mountain lion, okay? They're not very relaxed when they're looking for the mountain lion, are they? Okay, can they be through when they're like this? No, they can't. They cannot use their back, okay? But people say, yeah, but it says that the horse's frame should get shorter. Horse's frame got shorter, right? Okay? The horse's frame gets shorter because I shift the weight back to the butt. So the distance from the horse's tail to its ears is still the same. Same horse, same distance, okay? But the distance across the ground, this distance gets shorter. So that's what makes their frame get shorter if you ride correct collection. Okay? So when I teach, I don't even use the word collection. Do you use the word collection when you teach? I don't at all. I hate it. Because all it does is make people slam the front door shut and slow them down and yeah, especially beginners when they're trying to learn it. Yeah, question? Uh-huh. Yeah, a lot of times I'll make the comment with that with her, you could say slow to establish angle, position varied, things like that. There's a lot of tension and, yeah. So there's several different ways you could put that.
If you're going to err, what side would the judge want to see the error on?
Well, the trick is how you use your corner, okay? 90% of the time, I can tell if the lateral work, how it's going to be based upon how the rider goes through the corner. Because if you don't use your corner to set it up, good luck. Because you can't, you have to use the corner to set it up to have a good one. And that's a little bit what happened there. She didn't have a good enough. In training, if my corner doesn't work, I go back around. I don't do whatever it was I was going to do. I go back around.
One other question on the hull.
Mm-hmm.
When the quarters were off, do you like to see it corrected, or do you just stay because you know you blew it?
No, I don't like to see it corrected because for me, immobility is more important than straightness. Immobility is the biggest deal for me. Okay? And if you straighten the horse, you ruin the immobility, and you can teach them to not stand still. Okay? So you live with it, and then you go home and work on it more. You may not have had when that horse's haunches went left, maybe she didn't have her left leg on well enough. It might have been her mistake. Oh, he was a little tense, so it was probably just him. And he can be a little opinionated. Yeah, he's a stallion. Question?
Would you have waited to salute until that horse got ready?
Thank you for bringing that up, because I wanted to say that, and then I thought, well, I better keep going with the test. It was the horse, thank you very much. It was the horse that wasn't standing still in that situation versus the horse stopping crooked and then the rider, or the horse stopping, and the rider going, come on, okay? In her instance, it was him that wasn't standing still, and she waited him out very quietly, but very insistently. We're going to stand still. I'll wait all day for you if I have to, but that goes into my brain as good riding. Okay? So my first impression of riding effectiveness is good. Yeah, but then you gotta weigh out, is he going to start backing up? And she can feel things you and I can't see. So she knows this horse really well. They've been partners for a long time. So she may have known, okay, I can make him halt for so long, and then it's time to go. If a horse is being really stupid and backing up and twirling around, and the rider like, I'm going to get this halt, that usually doesn't work. Usually sometimes it's better to just kind of hesitate, put your arm down, and get out. Okay, because it's already a mess anyway. If it's backing up and going sideways, I'm already at a 3 or something anyway. So just get out. And don't make it into a big battle to where then you spend 6 months trying to teach your horse to halt again. Okay, so you have to have good training, but you also have to have tactics in the ring, or what works in the ring. And you got to minimize your losses when you're having a problem. And maximize your benefit. Don't blow off the easy movements. Oh, well, that's just a Canter Trot transition. Don's horse her transitions were really good. Okay, even though he was tense and so she rode really good transitions. Don's transitions were lovely. They rack up the points, man. Okay? And they show me your training. So it affects me in submission and it affects me in rider score. Any other questions on that? Yep.
Just any words of wisdom on the surface.
Learn to do it before you show it is my probably first. Don't just go, okay, here we go. Okay? That probably won't work. prayer, I'm a Christian and I pray but not everybody does, but it usually doesn't work on a horse. Oh God, please let this work. Usually doesn't work. It hasn't for me. He's like up there going, really? So you have to teach yourself and the horse to do it, okay? And I don't mean to be blowing off your question by saying that, but that's the honest God truth. You have to teach the horse to do simple changes. The first thing they have to learn is to do the canter walk, balanced. That's where people get into trouble, is they go, I gotta do the simple change. Break it down, ride the canter walk, then walk. I see so many people where the horse breaks into the trot, and then they go, oh damn, oh well, here I go. And it's like, show me some walk, because I really shouldn't even give you a 3 if you don't even attempt to walk. Was the horse jigging on the one walk? Yes, but she was attempting to walk, okay? But a person who the horse breaks to the trot and they go, oh well, I guess I'll do, it makes you crazy, doesn't it, when you're judging? Take the time and walk, make the horse know that they're supposed to walk. Okay? Because then I can give you a 5 or a 6, but if you show Gary Rockwell at the convention this time said you better not be given a canter, simple change, a 3. We got our hands slapped for that. He said there's no walk. It's a 1 or a 2. And I went, okay. I usually give it a 3, but he's right, to be honest. Yep.
You're doing a loop, and you're really going from the canter to the walk, about 2 steps into you're going across, right?
Well, it depends on the horse as to how things are going, okay? Ideally, you want it centered over the center line, okay?
That's where you would be at walk, take your walk step.
If you do your down transition on the center line, you're going to be past the center line. You want it centered over the center line. So you're going to walk before the center line. And how far before the center line you do is how confident you are that your horse is going to walk. And how balanced the moment is and all of that. Yeah? 1 or 2 steps is not, that's a good question. That's another thing people are doing now. I did 1 walk step, here I go. You got to show me that you can walk and you can take your time and the horse is on your aids. For me, if there's not at least 3 steps, you're not there. Yep.
How many steps is too
I would say, there in the FEI there is a number. It's 3 to 5. In the USCF we don't have a number, but 3 to 5 is kind of the balanced range. Okay. I can live with 7 and maybe give it a 7 for a score depending on the quality of the transitions and the quality of the walk, because I still took 30% off. But usually if they're taking 7, 8, 9 steps, there's something wrong that's making them have to walk that long. So it usually doesn't end up being, and I'll say slow to depart, slow to pick up new lead. Now, if they feel that their horse is going to pick up the wrong lead and they're taking their time to fix that, they're smart. Because if they pick up the wrong lead, it's a 4 or less, depending on what else happens. And if they take their time and have too many steps, I can still probably give a 6. And I believe, are they double coefficient now? I think they are, aren't they? Well, they should have been. Anyway, but they are in second 3, they're double coefficient. Okay, so does that make sense? So it's all in what happens in the moment. What I want to see is that when something goes wrong, that there's training involved to fix it. Not Hail Marys. And not aggression on the rider's part. That makes me really cranky, and it makes most judges cranky. Don't get mad at your horse when something goes wrong. It may have been your fault, and you just don't even know it. Okay? And it makes us really grumpy. I like it when a rider laughs when there's a mistake. Oh well, do it again. Oops, okay? All right, and it will keep you relaxed and it will keep you focused. And the other thing is when you make a mistake, don't dwell on it. Because if you're dwelling on the mistake you just made, you have no idea where you're going and what you're doing next. So then you screw up the next movement and maybe the next movement. I've seen riders where it completely blows the rest of their test because they're still, oh my God, I blew that simple change. And 6 movements later, they're not paying any attention to what they're doing because you can't think about both at the same time, right? Okay, any other questions on that test specifically? Thank you, Donna.